Okay, guys, I'm going to walk you through the final project for Textiles, which is going to be due Friday, December 4th at midnight. And topics must be submitted to me for approval by November 15th. What you're going to do is research a specific finishing technique or a textile manipulation technique and present your findings in both a typed paper and an oral presentation and demonstration. These will be really similar to the labs that I've been posting, where I do a video and I show you a certain technique in the video, but it's going to be a little more than that because you're also going to write a paper that goes along with it. So if you are choosing a technique that we've already covered in a class lab assignment, that's fine. Maybe you want to take it even further than we did in the lab. Just make sure that you do that. Make sure that you take your research and your presentation much farther than I did in the lab. So do a more elaborate project and again, really show us that you've done the research and you're doing something differently than what I already presented to you in the lab. Okay, so like for example, if you also decide to do knitting, don't do the knit demonstration in the exact way that I did. Do something else entirely. There's tons of other knitting techniques, so show us one of those and show us a final project that looks very different from what I showed you. So the contents of your project is going to be one, which is your paper, so a typed report, a minimum of 5 pages, typed, double-spaced, where you're going to have historical background of the technique included. So I really want you to do thorough research of where this came from and a detailed description of the process and the technique. So exactly how it's done, who's doing it, etc. And then the purpose of the desired effect. Why would someone use this technique? Why historically did someone use it? Why do we use it now? All those things. I want you to definitely include pictures and diagrams of the technique in your paper as well, but just know that those images do not count towards that 5 pages of text. So, I still definitely want like a lengthy, thorough paper, but you can obviously have some pictures and diagrams that'll really help us to understand your paper. And then I want you to include a works cited page in MLA format and cite your sources throughout the text. I want this to seem like a scholarly effort, like we can trust that you know what you're talking about because you've done the research. So that's in your paper. You're also going to present a PowerPoint presentation as an oral presentation and demonstration. So usually when we do this class in person, I actually have the student get up in front of the class and present the topic and do a demonstration in front of the class and teach everyone. So in this way, we're going to do it digitally. We're going to do the same thing. So I want you to use PowerPoint to create a presentation of your project. You can create an entire video presentation if you feel that you're very good at editing and you're really good at video stuff. If you're not very good at it, don't attempt to pull it off right now. This isn't the time to learn, and creating an entire 15-minute video presentation on your final project, which is worth a very large portion of your grade, I don't suggest it, and I doubt it'll be good. But if you're already really good at video stuff, go ahead and give it a try. But the reason I would think PowerPoint would work better is because I want you to include also a brief historical background of the technique, even in your presentation. So you'll probably have some text pop up on the screen, kind of like a quick blurb from your paper. So the best of from your long 5-page paper, give it to us in your presentation. So tell us about the historical background, tell us the purpose and the desired effect, and a detailed description of how you actually do this process. And you must also include a live demonstration of the technique you could do a short video recording, say like maybe just a few minutes, and kind of insert that into your presentation, or you could present a clear step-by-step tutorial with detailed images of your technique. So think about when you Google, how to knit, and you might get some video, but you might also just get like a blog post that has images with the description of what you do step by step. Something like that also totally works. So you can do either an entire video, or you can do a short video within your PowerPoint presentation, or you can show us images of your step-by-step tutorial. So your entire presentation should be no longer than 15 minutes. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes, so not terribly long. Time yourself and practice so you don't go over your time. Very, very important. Make sure that your presentation is clear, easy to understand, easy to read, easy to interpret. It's well coordinated, well designed, consistent, well organized. Clarity of presentation should be evident. I really want this to seem professional, to seem like you are teaching us this technique and you know what you're doing and you've really thought about it. Again, this is a final project. It should really incorporate a lot that we've learned in textiles. So really show me that you've taken your time. It's why you've got a full month to work on it, okay? You can use Screencast-O-Matic, which is free, and it's what I'm using right now to record this presentation. So it records you talking over a presentation. So for example, I made this Word document and then I hit record on the Screencast-O-Matic, um, and it is sharing my screen with you and recording me talking over top of it. So I definitely suggest that you can make your PowerPoint presentation and use this to record yourself talking over the presentation. The free version will cut you off at 15 minutes, so you'll definitely, again, have to practice and make sure that you don't go over your time. And then it'll give you options. You can either save the file as a video file, and then you could upload it later to the Google Drive, or you can upload it directly to YouTube, and then you can include the link when you submit your assignment later. So what to submit is a digital copy of your written paper, that 5-page paper. You're going to submit that. You'll also have a digital copy of your PowerPoint presentation without you talking over it, okay? So this is just the content that you created. If you do a video presentation entirely, you could just submit that video file. And then if you didn't do a video presentation entirely, also I need you to submit the video file of your oral presentation, so you talking over your PowerPoint, or a link to YouTube showing that oral presentation, however you decided to save it. All items will be clearly labeled and saved together under a folder that's clearly labeled Final Project and uploaded to the Google Drive folder. So again, you're going to choose a topic and submit that to me for approval by November 15th. I just want to make sure that no one's chosen anything too far out there that I don't think that you can handle or pull off, in this short amount of time. Or I also want to make sure we're kind of not all doing the same topic. So definitely get back to me with your topic choice sooner rather than later, so that I can make sure we've got a nice variance. But you'll submit your topic to me in a discussion forum post, and I will approve it by November 15th. And then you'll have the rest of the semester to work on it. Late assignments will not be accepted. This includes both the paper and the presentation. You have to get this in on time. It's due like the last week of class or the last few days of class, so you kind of have no choice. You have to get it into me on time. And this project is 30% of your overall grade, so take it very seriously. It means that if you don't do this at all, for example, you would struggle. You'd have to have everything else, 100% perfect just to be able to get a 70 C, just to be able to like pass the class. So you definitely want to do well on this project. And usually just putting forth a good amount of effort that's really clear for me to see that you tried is what's going to help you do well on this project. So possible topics, and this is just some that I'm throwing out there: batik, block printing, screen printing, stone washing, discharge printing, embossing, natural dyeing, pleating, knitting, crochet, macrame, tie dyeing, roller printing, solution dyeing, yarn dyeing, burnout, marbleizing, embroidery, high-tech textiles, weaving, lace making. All of these are possible topics, okay? If you think of another, again, there's lots of different things that are in the book as far as prints and dyes and finishing techniques and also fabric manipulation techniques that I haven't listed on here. So look through the book to try to get ideas. It'll also define what each of these are for you, obviously, so you can figure out which you're most interested in and want to explore. And again, if you come up with an idea that isn't listed here, that's great. Just make sure I approve it before you go forward, okay? So choose a topic. And then I've listed some tips on how to take decent photographs so that you can document really well. Again, I want this to look really nice, to be a really professional presentation. And especially, I like this idea of, again, imagine it's a really cool blog post. You want people to like it. You want it to look good. You want it to be engaging. So you want to make sure if you were showing, say, step-by-step imagery, that it looked really nice and really professional. So just take your time, crop, focus the image, make sure it looks good. I've got two rubrics listed here, one for the presentation, and that's you actually, again, doing that PowerPoint or video and talking through it. Make sure that it's visually interesting, that it's clear and professional, that you're physically demonstrating the technique. That's super important. That you're demonstrating an understanding of the process and materials used, thorough knowledge of the history and technique, and definitely that you're adhering to that time constraint of, again, no more than 15 minutes, aim for 10 to 15. And then there's another rubric here for the written paper, and that has its own um, things that I'm looking for. Again, demonstration of a thorough knowledge of the history, process, and materials. Include some photographic references, definitely include citations to your references, adhere to the format and length guidelines, no spelling errors, correct usage of paragraphs and headings, and well thought out research and presentation of information. So let me know if you have any questions well in advance. Again, we've got a month to work on this, so don't ask me a lot of questions at the last minute. Ask me now. And otherwise, good luck, and I can't wait to see what you guys turn in.